When I first started watching Impact Wrestling, the first wrestler who really caught my attention was the Cowboy James Storm. Currently a free agent, I feel like James Storm would be a great signing for Impact Wrestling to make, and in this video I'm going to explain why. Over the past few years, Impact Wrestling has been bringing in a lot of ex-TNA stars to the modern Impact Wrestling landscape. You look at names like the Motor City Machine Guns. They returned at Slammiversary 2020 and since then have become top stars in the company. Shelly is the current world champion. Sable is the current X Division champion. They are what this company is built around. You look at other names like Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, Taylor Wilde, all in top positions. James Storm can be in a similar position to these wrestlers. I truly believe that. He's still a very good worker from what we've seen of his limited runs in the past few years in Impact, and he can go on that mic. Storm, as I've mentioned, has made limited runs, but if you were to bring him in full time and have him interact with the modern Impact Wrestling roster in pay-per-view feuds, I feel like that could be great. I feel like if you have him work a full program with the likes of Steve Macklin, that would be a high-profile feud for Impact. And they have interacted in the past, Macklin and Storm. But a full, let's say a Bound for Glory level pay-per-view feud between them would be fantastic. And on a similar vein, he can work with other names in that main event scene other than Steve Macklin have great programs, because in my eyes, James Storm would be a great addition to the main event scene. You can have him go into a feud with Moose, who he does have a history with from one of his limited runs. You could have him be a heel and go against the Motor City Machine Guns. With the amount of history they have, that could be great. You could have him in a feud with Josh Alexander, and I feel like that is one of the bigger feuds Impact could do with the star power and legacy that James Storm has in Impact versus a man like Josh Alexander, who the company is currently built around. There's a lot you could do with James Storm in a main event position in Impact, heel or babyface. And on a similar note, I feel like James Storm could fill out any position on the Impact roster. He could be a tag guy, either teaming with a TNA veteran or teaming with one of the newer Impact stars, whether that be a main event guy or maybe a lower guy on the card who would benefit from teaming up with the Cowboy. You could have him in the mid card, you could have him in the upper mid card, you could have him in the main event, you could have him be the world champion. I truly believe that James Storm, going after that world championship, looking to avenge himself after his run was so short, his one and only run, could be a great story. James Storm chasing that world title, being a man on a mission to gain it, could be great. You could have James Storm start up a heel stable going after the likes of Alex Shelley or Josh Alexander or whoever with this goal of becoming the world champion. And if he does that, I feel like he could have a great run. All in all, I do believe that Impact Wrestling should make a valiant effort into re-signing the Cowboy James Storm. Not only because of his legacy there, because of how hard he's worked for this company, but because I still believe that James Storm can go to a top-notch level. I believe he's a great talker. I believe with the right opponent and the right story, James Storm can still produce very fun matches and feuds. I believe that James Storm is an incredibly valuable piece to Impact Wrestling. And the company, as much as I love it, just feels off without the Cowboy. So overall, I have just one last thing to say, and that is thanks for the memories, James Storm. And I hope, just like the Motor City Machine Guns, Taylor Wilde, Eric Young, and Frankie Kazarian, you get the opportunity to make some more. Watching James Storm is always a complete pleasure, and I hope that we see one last ride from the Cowboy in the near future, and maybe one last world title run to make old wrongs right.